Listen to me. If you are standing on the precipice of retirement, or if you are already there, living on a fixed income, I need you to pause what you are doing and listen to every single word I am about to say. Because today, we are talking about a concept that is sweeping across the financial world, flashing all over your smartphones, and promised as a quick fix to your cash flow problems. It's called a current cash advance. Now, you might have seen the advertisements or had an adult child tell you about it. The current banking app offers a feature called Paycheck Advance. They tell you that you can get up to $750 of your money early. No interest. No credit check. No late fees. It sounds like an absolute dream when you are trying to stretch a budget, doesn't it? Especially today, when the price of groceries, utilities, and prescription drugs is eating away at your hard-earned savings. But I want you to step back for 1 second. We need to look at the reality of how this works, because when you are retired or preparing to retire, your cash flow is your lifeline. You cannot afford to make mistakes with your money out of fear or out of a misunderstanding of how these new financial technology tools operate. Let's address the fear first. The biggest fear I hear from people in your position is the fear of running out of money before the month is over. You have a fixed income. Maybe it's a pension, maybe it's your Social Security check, or maybe it's a structured withdrawal from your 401k or IRA. You know exactly what is coming in, but you don't always know what is going out. The car breaks down. The roof leaks. An unexpected medical copay lands on your kitchen table. Suddenly, you have a gap. You look at your bank account and realize your next deposit doesn't hit for another 10 days. That is terrifying. It makes you feel vulnerable. And when people feel vulnerable, they make rushed decisions. They go look for a lifeline, and that is exactly when a flashing button on a mobile app that says, "Get cash now," looks like an angel sent from above. So, let's say you're approved for a $100 advance to cover an emergency utility bill. You open the app, you tap the button, and you request the money. Here is where the hidden costs sneak in, and this is where I need you to be incredibly careful. Current tells you that the advance is completely free, and that is technically true, if you can wait 1 to 3 business days for the money to clear into your account. But let me ask you, if you are using a cash advance app, are you doing it because you can wait 3 days? No, you are doing it because you're in a panic right now. You are at the grocery store or the pharmacy and you need the money this second. If you want that money instantly, Current charges an optional instant access fee. It starts at $4.99 for a small advance and scales all the way up depending on how much money you are taking. Now, you might think, Susie, it's just $5. What's the big deal? Let's do the math. If you take a $50 advance and pay a $5 fee to get it instantly, that is 10% of the money you borrowed gone in a second. And remember, you have to pay that money back the absolute minute your very next direct deposit hits the account. It is deducted automatically. There is no manual payment. The app just goes into your account and takes it. If your pension check arrives 2 weeks later, Current instantly takes back that $50 plus the fee if it wasn't paid up front. If you calculate the effective annual percentage rate on borrowing $50 for 2 weeks at a cost of $5, you are looking at an annualized rate of well over 200%. That is not a cheap financial tool. That is an expensive Band-Aid. The real danger here for a retiree is what I call the cash advance trap. Think about what happens. Your Social Security check hits your account, but it is immediately short by the $100 you advanced the month before, plus the fees. Now, you are starting the new month in a hole. You have less money than you did last month to cover your regular expenses. So what happens 2 or 3 weeks later? You run out of money again. And what do? You open the app and you take another advance. You are robbing Peter to pay Paul. You are borrowing from your future self just to survive today, and you are paying a fee every single time you do it just to get your own money a few days early. You cannot build financial security when you are constantly living in the past. If you are retired, you do not have a salary that is going to magically increase next year. You cannot just pick up 10 hours of overtime next week to break the cycle. Your income is fixed. Therefore, your safety net must be absolute. So, what is your actionable takeaway today? First, if you are looking at these apps because you are facing a temporary cash crunch, I want you to exhaust every other option before you hand over control of your direct deposits to a technology app. If you have an emergency, look to see if you have a true emergency fund set up in a high-yield savings account where you earn interest instead of paying fees. If you don't have that, look into local community resources, nonprofit senior assistance programs, or talk to your utility and medical providers directly. Most utility companies and medical offices have specialized payment programs for seniors that allow you to defer payments or break them into interest-free segments without wiping out your next check. Second, if you do decide that you must use Current Paycheck Advance for an absolute emergency, you must promise me that you will choose the free, standard delivery option. Plan ahead by those 2 or 3 days, so you do not give away your hard-earned money to instant transfer fees. Do not let your impatience or temporary anxiety turn into a profit center for a financial technology company. And finally, if you have used in advance, your number one priority next month is to break the chain. You must cut your spending to the absolute bone for just one cycle so that when your next check arrives and the app takes its cut, you don't find yourself forced to borrow again. You have worked too hard for too many decades to let a smartphone app dictate your financial peace of mind in your golden years. Stand in your truth, control your cash flow, and protect your retirement.